Brentford put on a stunning and ruthless performance at the King Power Stadium, dismantling Leicester City with a 4-0 victory in what will be remembered as one of their most dominant away wins. From the first whistle to the final moments, the Bees showed superior tactical awareness, clinical finishing, and defensive resilience, leaving Leicester completely humiliated in front of their own fans. This match was a true testament to Brentford's growing status as a Premier League force, while Leicester, a former league champion, looked disjointed, vulnerable, and out of ideas. Right from kickoff, Brentford signaled their aggressive intent. They pressed high, forced Leicester into mistakes, and kept their defensive line compact. The Foxes, attempting to play out from the back, were harassed into losing possession repeatedly. Brentford's energy and intensity were simply overwhelming, and it didn't take long for them to break through. Brentford's first goal came in the 17th minute, as Yoane Wissa capitalized on a defensive lapse. After a precise build-up involving Mikkel Damsgaard, Wissa found space in the box and slotted a composed finish past Mads Hermansen, silencing the home crowd. Leicester attempted to respond with possession-based football, but Brentford's midfield trio, Nørgaard, Janelt, and Damsgaard, worked tirelessly to shut down passing lanes. Leicester's attacks lacked fluency, and their frustrations grew as Brentford looked increasingly dangerous on the counter-attack. Brentford's dominance paid off again in the 27th minute. A loose ball in midfield was picked up by Damsgaard, who teamed up with Brian Bumo, who surged forward with pace. With a burst of skill, he skipped past two defenders before curling a beautiful strike into the bottom corner. The goal highlighted Brentford's precision in attack and exposed Leicester's defensive vulnerabilities. With a 2-0 lead, Brentford could have opted to sit back, but they smelled blood and went for more. Leicester's attempts to regroup at halftime proved fruitless, as the Bees returned with even more attacking intent. Brentford's third goal arrived in the 32nd minute after Christian Nørgaard rises high inside the 6-yard box to meet a cross by Brian Bumo from the free kick. He heads home into the middle of the goal, making it 0-3. It was a goal of pure quality, further crushing Leicester's hopes of a comeback. At 3-0 down, Leicester's defense completely collapsed, and their midfield was being outplayed in every duel. The home fans began leaving the stadium early, recognizing that their team had no way back. As the halftime whistle approached, Leicester looked lost and demoralized, unable to break through Brentford's structured defense. The Foxes had 0 shots on target in the first half, a damning statistic for the home side. With a 3-0 lead, Brentford could have opted to sit back, but they smelled blood and went for more. Leicester's attempts to regroup at halftime proved fruitless, as the Bees returned with even more attacking intent. Brentford were relentless, pressing forward for more goals. Their persistence paid off in the 89th minute, when substitute Fabio Carvalho took advantage of a rebound, calmly slotting home his side's 4th goal. By this point, Leicester players looked broken, their body language showing complete resignation. Brentford, meanwhile, played with freedom and confidence, passing the ball around effortlessly as chants of "Ole, Ole" rang out from the away section. For Leicester City, this was a night to forget. The Foxes were sloppy in possession, weak defensively, and lacked urgency in attack. Their defenders, particularly Wout Faes and Caleb Okoli, struggled with Brentford's quick movement and pressing. The midfield failed to provide any creativity, and the attack was completely shut down. Leicester manager Ruud van Nistelrooy will now face serious scrutiny. His team looked devoid of ideas and confidence, and this crushing defeat may force him to rethink his tactical approach. If Leicester don't improve soon, they risk slipping further into a crisis relegation. For Brentford, this was more than just a victory, it was a statement performance. Clinical in attack, for well-taken goals from 4 different scorers. Defensively solid, limited Leicester to 0 shots on target for most of the game. Tactically superior, pressed aggressively and controlled the game in all areas. Manager Thomas Frank will be thrilled with his side's performance, as Brentford continue to prove that they belong among the Premier League's most dangerous teams. Final score, Leicester City 0-4 Brentford. A ruthless, dominant, and commanding display from the Bees, leaving Leicester in absolute disarray.